Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and our co host Liz will be joining us in a little bit. We are Boss Ass Whisks, and today we have a very special guest, the well read damsel, Miss Natasha. Welcome.
I also have Bert as my
Ooh, we get a
co-host of the
bonus.
night, and he is here too. But thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, little background story. So, I personally met Natasha through my book club. And if you are not in a book club and you are in your 30s, what are you doing with your life? Like,
Exactly. At this point, I am in 4 different book clubs, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
we don't need sleep. We just need literature.
I just need more books. Exactly.
Alrighty, awesome. So let's go ahead and get diving into the very first question.
Yeah.
So, Natasha, what led to changing your career direction and the creation of the Well Read Damsel? Because you've had quite the career journey. I'd love to know more about it.
Yeah, so it's a little different because I work in residential real estate. I'm a realtor with the Falkgrove and Gallagher team of Keller Williams. And while I'm doing this, I will continue to be working with my clients in real estate as well. So it's like a little bit of a pivot, but I'm still kind of along the same journey. Um, I started the Well Read Damsel. I feel like any romance reader or any reader, you always dream of having a bookstore. Like, how great would it be to like go spend the day in the bookstore, especially like with Bert in tow and
Mhm.
and it's something I always wanted. But the real spark of what kind of pushed me to go for it, last summer I went on a bookish summer camp. The author Anne Garvin wrote a book called Bummer Camp, and as a part of her launch weekend, she held 60 women at a summer camp in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And we all read the book beforehand. We got to talk about the book. There were 5 other authors who were there, and it wasn't just romance, but it was just a weekend of like just women and books and magic. And I left there being like, how do I spend more of my days like this?
Mhm.
One, it was supposed to be a one-time thing, but everyone loved it so much that by the end of the trip, Bummer Camp season 2 was already planned. And my friends and I will be going back this August, and I'm really excited. But I just wanted to be around more people who love books, get to meet more authors, just be in the space. So that kind of pushed me to be like, how do I do this? Do I just start a bookstagram? And in thinking about it, the bookstore was always a goal of mine, but I had this idea to start it as a pop up because, as you know, brick and mortars are big steps. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt like if I just waited to do that step, like I'd be waiting forever. I don't think I'd ever be ready to just go for that. It takes so much time, it's such a big expense. And I thought with the pop up, it was a good way to try it out, see if I even liked it. Like, do I want to
Mhm.
be in this
Try before you
space?
buy. There you
Try
go.
it before you buy it, exactly. And then also like be able to grow the brand so that like opening day is hopefully a success. Be able to work out the kinks because I mean it's I love it and it's really fun, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I'm learning every day and growing every day. And I will continue to make mistakes, but I've made many mistakes. And so this has been, I don't want to call it like a trial, but like kind of like a trial to what a brick and mortar could be. And yeah, here we are. So I've been doing this the past few months and it's been pretty fun.
I also say you definitely don't seem like a newbie or that you don't know what you're doing. It's quite the opposite. Whenever I see any of your videos, I'm like, dang, like, does she have someone on the payroll that just makes these like beautiful videos like that are so perfect? It's just
Honestly,
like,
I
you
wish
make
I
it all
did because they take so much time, but I will say like being in real estate the past almost 4 years, like I have to do a lot of marketing for that. So I don't have a background in marketing whatsoever, but I had to kind of figure it all out for my clients and for myself in that regard. I'm really good friends with Canva. Canva and I are BFFs. My phone is out constantly. My friends are probably sick of the amount of B-roll that I capture with them in it, but it is fun. It's I'm The social media part and getting to connect with people that way has been a pretty fun part of the job.
Oh no, I can imagine. I have bonus question. So, do you feel like you get more bang for your buck, or like with those videos, is your audience all over pretty around the same, or is it more like TikTok focused or Instagram? Because I know sometimes one can be way better than the other for a lot of people.
Yeah, I try to do both. I will say Instagram has been going a lot better. I don't know if it's I just haven't figured out the TikTok algorithm or whatnot. At first, it was like it was the better of the two, and then I think around the whole TikTok, will it go, will it not go?
Mhm.
I didn't intentionally do it, but it just started to kind of take off on Instagram a little bit more. I post a lot of the same content, and yeah. So if anyone out there has strategies to make TikTok go better, let me know. But
Slide in the DMs.
yeah, slide into my DMs. Let me know. I'm on Facebook too. I do not post on there a lot. I'm working on that. So I'm on Threads. Threads has been a big one lately. I made the jump.
Okay.
And I will say the book community on Threads is really fun. It's kind of like Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but I think it's similar. But for that, it's just like all book stuff all the time. And it's been a great way to connect with a lot of authors too that maybe I wouldn't have seen on my feed on Instagram.
Mhm.
That's been fun.
No, I think that's the most exciting part, or one of the most exciting parts of the journey, is like all the people you meet and like all the connections you make without even trying. Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to make friends as an adult, like let alone like a business contact. So it's like that first day of school where you have to do those icebreakers and like no one wants to start it. So I feel like that virtual like community is like super beneficial. And book talk, hello, very, very popular, very, very trendy.
Yes, I
I
know.
love that
Book
it's
talk
a
is
good trend,
I haven't
healthy
figured out
trend.
book talk yet, but no, I think and that's been one of the coolest parts about starting this is the book talk bookstagram community was very strong without me, but just getting in to tap into a little part of it and meeting so many people both in person and virtually, all through social media is pretty amazing.
Mhm.
And I'm very thankful for all of the people that see one video and decide to come out and give one of my events a try. Um, and yeah, I've met lots of new friends, which is kind of why I started this. I was like, I want to meet more book people, and it's been working, so I'm happy.
Exactly, find your people.
Yeah.
No, I remember because I was at your first event, I think, and it was so amazing to see the turnout. Like, holy crap! Like, you did
Yeah.
the damn thing. Like, there
It
was a
was
line
really
out the
crazy.
door. Like, that is such like good job. Like, I don't know how to say anything more than that. Like, gold star for you.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would be a good event. I did not expect that at all. And my friends can attest to it because I thought I could work it just by myself. And then several of my phones started downloading the software to check people out. Their like friends' parents were helping like move books and get
Oh,
more stuff out because I really thought, well, I'll just be here. Like my friends just came to hang out, and by the time before I even opened the doors, there were like 100 people waiting to even get in, and then there was a solid line for like 2 hours straight, and I left with 20 books left.
holy cats! Oh my
I
goodness.
had hundreds. So it was like it was a real jump into the deep end kind of moment in the best
Yeah,
way
but a
possible. And
very great feeling, I bet.
got it was amazing. I mean, it was so fun. I did feel bad. I of course didn't want like the lines were long and people who came towards the end or were towards the end of the line, like there wasn't a lot left, but truly like this was not expected at all. So I appreciate everyone who still came back and gave it another shot after having to wait in line and have like 30 books to choose from.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. They saw like, okay, I gotta get here earlier. It's like not anymore, but back in the day, Krispy Kreme like used to be like the morning spot. And if you weren't
Yes,
there by a certain time, like you weren't getting those fresh donuts while you waited in line. So,
exactly.
but no, that is amazing. And like that just shows like how much like of a need there is for that in this community, and like how much like, yeah, like we're ready for a brick and mortar for you, girl.
I know, like I always wanted a romance bookstore here, and it just came to the point that I just had to do it for myself.
Right? Be like, guess I'll do it myself. That's a
Yeah, I
TikTok.
guess I have to, you know?
All right, next question. So you successfully grown your business from a pop-up shop to a brick and mortar in a pretty like short time, I would say. Can you explain like how were you able to excel so quickly, and like did you utilize like any resources or outside resources or services?
Yeah. One, I would say the book community of Milwaukee is the whole reason that I have been able to make this jump so quickly, and the whole reason I was so motivated to make the jump so quickly. In my mind, this was a couple years down the road thing, and basically from that first event on, I was like, okay, like how do I make this happen sooner? Because everyone is so excited and so supportive, and like Milwaukee wants this to happen. So how do we make it happen? Was kind of my mindset going into starting after week one. But yeah, it really just has so much to do with everyone who comes out to the events, supports online, orders books online. Because I do have an online shop. It's not as big as a pop-up, but it has been great for the people that follow me out of state or who just have crazy work schedules or whatever it is that they can't make it to an event. So I always appreciate every online order. Yeah, it's just really the Milwaukee community. In terms of like support, a lot of my friends and family for like drinking wine with me while I'm freaking out about things. That's probably my biggest one. And then there have been several business owners in the Milwaukee area who, obviously there's no romance bookstore, but I have met a lot of women who run either retail stores or salons, or there is a bookstore, well, it's a gift store, but it also has books in Thiensville. And a lot of those women have been so supportive where, hey, what software are you using to do this? Or do you have a bookkeeper? Or, also just being places for me to host my pop-up. I mean, part of the pop-up is I have to find a new spot every time. And there's so many businesses who are just willing to have me be there and be there for free, which helps with your bottom line. And so, yeah, there's, just a whole handful of women out there who have been as supportive as I could have ever asked for. And anytime I have a question, we'll drop everything to answer. And so I'm very thankful for all of them.
Pretty darn good answer.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what maybe I'm biased, but I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm originally from Eau Claire, and I moved to Milwaukee with just like the idea of only staying for like a year or two to learn skills and like go back home. But I just fell in love with the city and the community because we really are like, it's corny and it's cheesy and probably cringy, but like a family. Like, it seems like it's a big place, but it's really not when you start like looking into it. Like everyone knows everyone, like, oh, I know this person, he owns that, he works here. So it's just amazing that with like that community, we're all like so intertwined and like willing to help each other. Like there's no gatekeeping. Well, hello, my lady.
Hello.
I've been here the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. What are you talking about? I've been here literally the whole time. Stop acting like I just arrived.
I love
Sorry. I apologize. I got stuck in traffic because I was actually going to make it here on time.
No worries. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, but I was listening. The whole time.
Hopefully I made you proud.
You did. Now I know that I could be late all the time. Or not even show up.
Sarah's like, don't do that.
Yeah. I try to push her into situations where she's like, Liz, and I'm like, nah, you got
it.
She's grown up so much.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you just got to be thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, True. Yeah. No, I was hearing about your, people, having you at their locations for free.
Yeah.
So I wanted to actually add a question to that. Have you ever had a place that like wouldn't fit your clientele but still wanted you to do a pop-up?
I have turned some down, but I would say it's mostly just because of like scheduling. I don't know if there's been any where I'm like, ooh, that's not a great fit. A lot of them, because I feel like what you put out there in the world you attract. So I do think a lot of the businesses that have reached out like very much do align with my clients. So I would say most of them just have to do with I can't do that many pop-up events. Like it may be 2 to 3 hours, but it's a lot of prep work. And so I can't do one every day of the week. So I'd say mostly when I turn it down, it's because they're really far away. I have done some far away that have been great, but it just is most of my audience is here in Milwaukee. So unless the business really pushes out the event, it doesn't really do well because most of my audience is here. I did one near Madison that went really, really well. But I think because it's Cottage Rose coffee and she was really pushing it out. I was really pushing it out. So it ended up being like one of my best events yet. But I don't know if there's any that I've just downright said no to. It's just more so when can we get it on the schedule and maybe.
Yeah. I was going to say this is probably pretty universal when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
It'd be hard to not find like example is I actually had a hair salon want me to do a pop-up and I was like, seems like a place no one wants you to donut at, you know?
Yeah. Don't really go together.
Yeah. I was like, but but I'm sure they could just sell books there. Like that would actually probably be
I think
that would be useful because you're reading while you're
read while you're room setting, you know?
I think a lot of them, it's not food, so it helps that there's a lot of settings where it can work.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, true. How about a swimming pool? No.
I probably have to say no. Just the humidity. The humidity would not be good for the book, so I probably would have to say no to that. Well, and now that we're kind of heading into hopefully warmer months, I have kind of been going back and forth about like outdoor events and outdoor markets.
Yeah,
they are big in our area, but some of them, when it's like rain or shine, and rain and books don't go well together. So I have been kind of thinking how this, like, what is this summer going to look like? I am doing, there is a big book fair going on at the Deer District. The first one's June 24th. It's called Milwaukee Books and Beer. So I will be doing that one. But I think that'll be like my first test of like, what is it like on the outdoors?
Get ready. So
we got stories.
yeah. Actually, it's funny. I started using book holders like the libraries do to hold my board games up because it's so windy, everything blows over. So I have been using those and I'm like, wow, this is a godsend. You gotta get creative.
You do. You really do.
Yeah. I do have the same experience though too, because like I have a lot of cardboard and I've been at like markets I've driven all the way to Milwaukee for, and it rains and it's like, even though it stopped, it's very wet. And most of my products are gonna get wet or moisture, and then you end up with moldy stuff.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
We don't like that unless it's on cheap.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, what other outside events are you doing? Is that you're just trying one and then, you know what I mean?
Oh, she has another one in August that I'll be doing. I have been working on potentially an outdoor event in Thiensville. We are doing a Brewers game, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So last February, we did hockey romance night with the Admirals. And like 200 people came out for that. And so now we're doing baseball romance day with a tailgate. So the books will be dependent on whether or not it's raining or not. But we do have some fun yard games that will be there. We're going to have some fun like day of merch and things like that. And lots of baseball romance books. So that'll be fun. That'll be a tailgate.
I was going to say, is there a lot of baseball romance books?
There has to be.
There are. Yeah, I mean, I will say hockey is probably the biggest sport in terms of like specific romance.
Oh, really? I don't get football.
Well, could be. I mean, I think hockey might be a little bit bigger, but
I mean, hockey sounds more
Football,
enticing.
Hockey's where the romance is. Haven't you seen that ice skating movie with the figure skater and the
Yes.
hockey player?
yes,
Rest in
There are
peace.
many
She was
books
there with us.
that are
Oh,
exactly
that
like
was such a good movie.
Yeah, because that was a book before a movie. Just, you know.
and there have
Not a
been many
graphic
more
novels
exactly the
person.
same.
All
But yeah,
right.
there's lots of baseball romance too. So it's exciting.
Wow. Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool to just find out how many labels there are and how many
Yeah.
stories there are with baseball romance.
Yeah.
That would be we should have her on Patreon so people could ask fun questions like that. Because
100%. There's going to be a lot of book questions, I feel like. Like, okay, is there a book with this type of plot? And you're like, there sure is, author such and such. Like, I got to do.
If I don't know
Like-
off the top, I will find it for you. That is for sure. There's a lot of wild stuff out there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I'm a graphics kind of novel reader. ADHD, so a lot of words scares me because it has to get me like right away, or I'm just like I try to read the second version, the second book to it's a horror book, of course it is. I forgot the one about the hotel and the kid and all the ghosts and stuff. It's like every horror book. But Doctor Sleep, there we go. God, that like was a lot. I read like probably one chapter and then I have not read anything past that.
Can we all admit that we definitely have like at least 10 books that we own and we have on display that we have either only read one page of or not opened it at all?
1,000%.
Raise your hand if you're guilty.
I have like one. The rest I've read.
See, my problem is like I will go in the past with these spurts of I'll buy a crap ton of books thinking like, all right, I'm really going to get back into reading this year. And then I don't do it. And then I'm more so an audiobook girl now just because then I can listen to it while I drive and everything. But one of my girlfriends for my 21st birthday, and I'm about to be 32, so there's context, she bought me this book called Les Mis. Haven't read it yet. But any day now, I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna read it.
I mean, that one's a real heavy one.
She's thick.
Maybe start with something a little bit lighter and shorter. I think that one can wait a little
Yeah, that's
bit
like it's like giving you a whole script. Like here, just read this. It's your first time. You'll be totally fine. Yeah, but that just means she thought that you'd be like.
Well, I specifically asked for it too, so hopefully she doesn't listen to this episode because she's gonna be like,
"Stop
you
giving
freaking twat! You still haven't read that?
Whoever this
Give
is,
me the money back." Like,
cut her off. No more book gifts. I used to have a habit of collecting antique books. And
I love the smell of an old
weird
book,
antique books, though. Like, not weird, just like, our history. Like, there was a book about like 20 things how to appease your man. And it was the funniest read I've ever had. It was like, your whole day centers around him and his long day at work. You don't want a cranky boss walking around. And I'm like, what is happening?
And they still act that way and need that to this day.
Yeah. Make sure they're bathed. It's like how to take care of a dog, basically. That's how I learned how to take care of
at least I'll
Chewy.
get the affection from an animal.
Yeah. I try to feed him, but he won't eat anyways because he's a jerk. But, a dog is a dog. Oh, he's passed out. I thought he was leaving me. But yeah, sorry, interrupted the party. You go on.
That's okay.
We love a party crasher. Moving on to the next question of what so far has been the biggest challenge for your business?
I think there's probably two of them. One has just been keeping up with the demand of everything. The pop-ups, like I said, it's a lot of planning. It takes up a lot of time in the day because it's not just the event I mean, you guys know because you do, it's the setup, it's the packing up, it's the there's so much that goes into it versus just like opening a door. That I think there's obviously lots that go into brick and mortar, but it's so much work and I love doing it, and just also it just limits how many people can come every time. It also just limits I have been throwing more events where it's more like a gathering, so you're there for the like 2 to 3 hours all together, and that has been really fun in kind of growing the community a little bit more. But with the pop-up, it's kind of just like people shopping and going and not really meeting each other, and I think there's been a lot of desire from like my clients to meet each other and make new friends and talk to each other and learn about books and all that fun stuff. So I have been able to pivot a little bit, but the pop-up was hard. It was hard. And then too, just like making sure I have enough books. Books are heavy and they take up a lot of space. So every market, it's a kind of like trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And I've been wrong sometimes, and sometimes I've been right, and you just kind of go as you can. And then I say the second one is really not, so this is it. Like, this is where I run everything. I live in an 800 square foot house, and this is my second bedroom, and this is it. And so I'm just really limited on like how many books I can carry. And as you can imagine, there are so many different books out there, so many genres. So I'm always like, oh, I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of this. And a big thing is also not being able to carry as many independent authors as I would like. Again, we're limited to what can fit on these shelves.
Yeah.
Although I have a big event, so it also is now like over here. So this is what it looks like. And I have loved getting to meet so many independent authors. I wish I could stock all of their books, but right now I just don't have the space to do it. And so in the store, I'll be able to do that. And I'm very excited about that. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like I also walk into that issue with board games. Like what to carry and what sells. And I've learned that there's no math to mathing it. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I did a horror convention, so all my books sold.
Yeah.
Any kind of horror role-playing thing sold, any kind of horror game. Dice sells everywhere. No matter where I go, everyone loves dice. They don't even have to play with it. They just like having fun-looking dice to say, look at what I have. I don't play with it, but it's fancy. But yeah, I have not gotten a science in it, period. And it's really weird too, especially with the whole book thing. Because I expanded into role-playing stuff, and I've only done a role-playing game where I'm not the dungeon master, so I kind of know the elements, but I don't know what the book's purpose is. So I'll read like the back and go, yeah, I think I have an idea. Like, I go, there's no way in hell I'm reading all these books. Like, I'm sorry.
Just read the back and call it good.
I will say I have read a lot of these books. I have not read them all. There are so many books coming out every day. It's really hard to keep up with them all. So I do get a lot of, have you read this book? And I can't read them all. Yeah. I would love to. But it's just not possible.
Yeah, that's almost like, have you gotten anyone who's ever been like, oh, what? You're selling stuff you don't know?
You haven't read it?
There have been not so much people that like came for my event, but when you do like big markets and you get people who've never heard of you that walk by and
they give you poopy face.
We get a lot of like, oh, just romance, and I'm like, yep. Why don't you sell other ones? I don't want to. And what do you mean? A lot of people think I write the books. And I'm like, no, these are other authors. But yeah, a lot of, so what do you mean you haven't read them all? And I'm like, I carry like 200 different books at a time. And like every week, dozens and dozens of new ones come out. So It's not possible for me to read them all. I'd try, but
Be a robot. Do better.
You don't need sleep.
yeah.
Yeah. I always I don't have a social life, obviously. I don't think any business owner does. So it's like, when do I have free time to actually test the products that I'm selling? That's almost impossible to do unless, I don't know what you could sell. But I met a 11-year-old author at the horror convention I was in. Yeah, it was funny. I don't know how I missed this, but she was one of the special guests on there. And she was Disney. She had Disney Channel energy. She was so bubbly and she just didn't give a shit. She was went, "Hey guys, what's up?" And she was so excited about everyone's booth. And I was like, "Oh, this kid's rad." And she had a jean vest on with all their patches on there. I was like, "Oh, what a cool kid." Literally, we went to the after party at a bar, and there were drunk
the 11-year-old was at a bar?
Her. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's Wisconsin after all.
Okay, that was the third point. Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't an infant there. I mean, usually there's a baby. You know what I mean? But I'm like, what the hell? I go, "Oh, cool, there's kids everywhere." And everyone's like, "Oh, man, that 11-year-old's great." And then all of a sudden, all the vendors in my row, we realized she's an author. And then I go, "Man, how unaccomplished do you guys feel?" I was like, this 11-year-old is a special guest right now selling her novels. Her mom came by. They were I was so jealous of the functional family business thing going on. I was like, this is awesome. Her mom was her manager. Yeah, she was just so I could only imagine she's gonna get big just off her personality. I would watch her read her book at a library because she's just so animated. But yeah, it's crazy. Do you have any young authors in your collection?
I would say there are some probably early 20s, 1920. But I would say, a lot. I carry some young adult novels, but in the store, I'd want to carry more. It's the same thing of I'm so limited. I can carry. I don't know if there are many romance, because a lot of them are fairly adult that would be written by younger people.
I was gonna say, what would a 11-year-old romance novel be like?
There is, so I did have.
Him.
Yeah, I did get reached out to by Scholastics, and they actually do have the young adult, and so I think young adult, and I could be wrong, could be categorized kind of teenagey, and then there's middle school romances too.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have those, but there is a whole line of middle school romances. I don't think anything younger than that. I think it'd be a little weird.
Yeah. I was like, that'd be
That's
weird.
probably for the best.
Yeah, so maybe middle school are out there writing it. I don't know.
No one wants to read that romance novel. Little Timmy put a booger on me. We're fighting.
Just condone his for the rest of your life. Oh wait, no.
I made him a oven cookie, okay? And I've been waiting all night. Yeah, they'd be a little creepy.
So I know that you have the brick and mortar coming, so this is probably jumping the gun, but what is your next goal with your business? Do you hope to grow into multiple locations, or is it chill? Let's just see how this first one goes. How ambitious are you feeling with this?
Probably middle of the road ambitious. I think my focus right now is just storefront, and seeing how that goes. I have talked to other businesses about partnerships and what that could look like. Are there romance books that are sponsored by the Red Damsel? But in terms of a second location, not anytime soon. I never say never, but I think my focus right now is just the one.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work
at a time.
Yeah, one store at a time, and we'll go from there. Because I think too, it's just tough. I don't think it could be anywhere near here. And then at that point, would it be the same thing if I'm not there? So I don't really know if I'd want it to be in a place that's driving distance of me, because well, then it'd be competing with my current store. So
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
And so
I've
if you're the
definitely
face of your brand, like you are the well-read damsel.
Mhm.
I always think
Yeah.
of Rebecca Bloomwood, the fictional character in The Girl in the Red Scarf, The Confessions of a Shopaholic. And
Yes.
every time I see your logo, I'm like, God, that's just what I think of. You know, like I know her, but like it's just that's the vibe it gives. So like I get like you don't want to take away from your brand because like that is what makes you so special and so unique.
Yeah. So never say never, but I think there'd have to be like a right way to do it. And as of right now, I'm still figuring out number one. So
Yeah. I'm like, aren't we all?
yeah.
All right. And then final question, drum roll. So
Do I have a drum? No, I don't.
who is your favorite author? And do you remember the first book that you fell in love with and why?
So favorite authors for me are so hard because
Oh, is it like there's too many?
there's so many.
Okay,
I'm
that's
really bad
fair,
at
that's
ranking
fair.
anything. Like favorite movie, favorite actor, favorite song. I'm so bad. But so was a reader growing up. Loved like middle school, high school, was a huge reader. Like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, the whole 9 yards. There was a middle school book series called The Click. I was obsessed with that. So it was lots of reading growing up. And then in college, I kind of stopped because college is hard and you're doing so much reading.
Yeah.
And I was in the humanities, so it's pretty much like all reading. And then went to grad school and read some more. So during that time, I never went for fun. And it wasn't until COVID again that a lot of my friends who were readers at the time still are. We did like a virtual book club, and they were like, just read this book. And the first one wasn't my favorite, but I was like, okay, I've got nothing else to do. And then I think like our second or third book was ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, which is a huge book now.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
And that I was like, what is this? Like, I need more. And the series was about halfway. So I, read that series, kept going with more. And then probably my first contemporary romance that I like fell in love with was Emily Henry. And she is pretty big. She's got, I think, six books now. But it was called Book Lovers. And the premise is kind of like a Hallmark movie, but in reverse. So the main character, female, every man she dates, like, goes and visits a small town and ends up with like the small town girl. And she's like the big city workaholic that's like the evil one, and that you see in those movies. And ends up finding her. And they're really cute. They're really like witty and snarky and fun. And I had just never read anything like it. And that was kind of my delve into contemporary romance. And here we are several years later, and now I own a bookstore.
Full circle. We love it.
Full circle.
Right?
So yeah, there's too many for me to count. Another one right now that I love is Lila Sage. She writes a series called the first one's called Done and Dusted. It's cowboy romance. Highly recommend that. And then I'm like taking a look back here because this is usually my tops are always with me. Alexandra Bellafleur, I think is how you say her name. She writes a lot of queer romance. I love those. I love her, pretty much all of hers that I've read. Casey McQuiston is another queer author. She writes queer romance. And there's some wild ones, but like if you've seen they turned it into a movie on Amazon, Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was one of hers. And then there's one, another big name, but Christina Lauren. They're two friends that write romance together, and every book of theirs I love. And also, I'm like, one of my friends, like, come on, let's write a book together.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like bestie goals. Like if you love me, write a book with me. Like
yeah,
right?
and they came to Milwaukee, I think last year. And they just started as kind of like writing partners, and they weren't like really friends, and then like kind of developed a friendship. And now I think they've written like at least 20 books together, if not more.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's gotta be the best way to write a book, though. Like Writing. Writing is a lot.
Yeah.
And having like someone else write and you don't have to write the whole book, like
Yeah.
that's a romance novel in itself for me. I made a card game and I don't want to ever do that ever again. I can't imagine writing a book.
Like, I'm traumatized by this experience.
Yeah, I was like that. It just I am not the best speller or grammar or like anything. Me no speak English well. Like I'm bad. And just like that with all the editing and my brain hurts. So like God, writing a book, yeah, they're gonna bump out like 20. They could probably do 50. Let's go.
Let's go.
And it was cool because they said they write every book very differently. Like sometimes it's, hey, you write this chapter, I'll write the other. Sometimes, they kind of mix it up every time, but like they definitely both have their strengths. Like one of them's really good at like scenery and the other one's really good at this. And so they kind of like just pass it back and forth. And sometimes they're working on two at once and like one's working on the other. I mean, in terms of writing though, like the spell check, editing, all of that, like you can hire somebody to do that. Even independent authors like will hire editors to edit their book. But just to have that initial first draft, I think to have a partner, that'd be fun.
Right? I'm like,
like how cool would it be? Would you ever be interested in writing your own book? Like, is that like a goal you have for yourself or like a dream maybe?
Not really, but I was at an event, a pop-up, and I had my tarot cards read, and she said in 10 years I'm going to write a romance book. So come back to me in 10 years.
Know.
She said it's
never know.
She said it's going to be a best-selling romance book. And I'm like, what's it? Can you tell me what it's about? Can you give me like a summary?
I was like, these tarot card readers are on point.
I just went to my first one. I love
you did.
I love it. I love it. I'm a believer in it. I read my own tarot. This was my first time getting it like professionally read though. So
wow.
That was pretty cool. But no, I don't have any goals of doing that. Of course I'm like, oh, this would be a fun book, but I don't know if I could do it. Like you said, like it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
I commend all of the authors who get their shit published because it's pretty amazing. But the time it also takes to just get it published, either if you're self-publishing or traditionally publishing, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. It's not just like writing out the story. I don't know.
Even the Amazon publishing,
like Amazon like you could just publish yourself, and they think, "Oh, I'm an author."
Yeah. And
Amazon
with that,
publishing alone, you gotta do so much paperwork for it.
Yes. That's the thing. It's more accessible than like going the traditionally published route, but it does cost money to get it edited, to design your cover. I mean, not everyone's good at everything, so you do need to hire. And then so there's Amazon is a good way, but bookstores like myself, we can't, if you publish on Amazon, we can't purchase from Amazon wholesale. We can purchase directly from the authors. So some of them, I do it that way. And then there's a big wholesaler called Ingram, and they can also print through Ingram like Amazon, but they're both like as you can imagine, big corporations, like not the best for the little man just trying to publish.
I published a kid's book and I get like a penny.
Yeah.
I get a penny like once a year. I'm just saying, I'm not bragging, but I get a penny. I'm like kind of a big deal in Japan. Like,
that is kind of cool though. That's a good flex.
Look, I think it's because they think
I'm famous in
it's
Japan.
about a fish, and I think my fish kind of looks like a koi fish. So they get sadly disappointed when they buy it, and they're like, "Oh, no, gross! It's a goldfish. The garbage." My kid doesn't need to listen to this shit. I feel like Amazon for any kind of business owner is bad because they're trying to like get all the little businesses to join in. It's just so much money and payments and everything for them. By the time they're done with you, you're getting like no money back. Like it's just not even marketing at this point because it's so oversaturated.
Yeah.
It's tough times.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, keep it local, people.
Yes,
keep it
local. Although I will say, so there was a lot of debate because obviously Amazon, not a lot of people happy with them, but Kindle Unlimited is like is an ebook platform, and a lot of authors make their money from Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
With Kindle Unlimited, my understanding is they get paid per page read.
Oh,
And so when people started banning Kindle or like not, like self-banning, it's like saying, I'm not
Yeah.
going to support Amazon. Like those people do get hurt because they have their books on there and they
Yeah.
get, and
I
it's,
feel like Kindle's different from Amazon. You know what I mean? Like even though
yeah,
they're together, they're
it's like the
different.
stepchild. Like, well, you can come hang with us.
As
Like,
an ex-Amazonian worker, I didn't work for Amazon, but just like Kindle, I worked for a third party.
okay.
And Amazon loves to do that. They love third parties, and that's kind of what Kindle is. So it's like even though you're associated with Amazon, you're not Amazon. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
people don't get that a lot. That's how Amazon gets away with a lot that they do. Because they'll be like, I didn't know. they did it. That's not us. They're just
Yeah.
on our platform.
accountability. Just
If you have
Yeah.
a Kindle and you have Kindle Unlimited, go support indie authors there.
Yeah, that's
That'd be my
I
plug.
do have Kindle Unlimited. That's one thing I have for someone who doesn't, but they have a lot of graphic novels too,
Yeah, they do.
which I love. I try to get my niece and my nephew into graphic novels because they're not big readers. But yeah, my niece just, I mean, sometimes she'll like get into a book and sometimes not. When I go to these nerdy conventions, I like to meet the publishers, and one did all like inspiring women books for kids. So each story was of like this girl turned into a scientist, this girl turned into like an airplane pilot, and they're all different stories of science and biology and all that. And I got her the book and I got it signed, thinking it was like so cool. She could care less. She was like, "Oh, I'm like, but it's signed by."
like, I'm gonna get so many cool.
They wrote
images
this.
right
Yeah,
now.
I was like, I was more excited. I was like, they wrote this and they signed it for you. She's like, cool. It's going
Maybe
well.
one day she'll be
Right.
excited about
She
it.
will learn to appreciate it.
Yeah, either she's gonna like love the fact that I bought her a bunch of books that are signed, or she's gonna love it because they're gonna be like worth money at some point. Because I also got her the My Little Pony lady that made My Little Ponies.
Oh,
She wrote a book and I got that signed for her. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm like,
thanks for paying for college, Auntie Liz.
they'll be fine. They won't be in debt like me. None of them want to be artists, so we're safe. My nephew is aiming for taking over my company though, I think. So
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
he
Keep
keeps-
it in the family.
yeah, legacy.
right. He's like, I want to cook. He's like, what are you doing? What are you making? I'm like, whoa. None of your business yet, kid. Like, I'm not telling you my recipe. Get out of here.
There's a blood oath first.
Yeah, right. Like what? So as a business owner too, like, do you have any plans? Like how do you plan that? You know what I mean? Like what happens to your company in general when it comes to, because it's like if you don't have anyone that likes books, like who do you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, that's I run into that all the time because I'm like board games and donuts and it's horror theme. And I don't have anyone that really likes horror, but my dad does. But I mean, like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I should probably think that's probably something I should think about more.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I won't be here, so
yeah.
I haven't really thought about it. I will say everything goes to my sister. She knows this. My dog, my everything goes to her. And good luck. She can.
You know what?
She does not like books. She does not like books. So
I hope you get all to your dog, because if there's a dog bookstore owner, like I don't even have to read romance. I'm going there. Oh my god,
He's ready. He will take on
buy a book for him. He knows what the hell he's doing, right?
He does.
Oh
He's
my
a
God,
good.
that
He's a
face.
really good worker.
Yeah.
So everything I will say, everything goes to whoever gets him and gets him, and my sister gets him. So I've like literally.
I think he should run the whole business actually, just with that face. Go and ask a question.
He would be fine to run it on his. as you can tell, he's very upset that I'm at my desk and he wants to be a part of this.
Yeah, he looks. He looks excited. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, he looks like he knows about romance. He looks like a Rico Suave, even though he's rolling his eyes. But
Yeah, his favorite thing to do is of all the books come in boxes and he eats the boxes. So for better or worse,
classic.
I discovered that he likes to eat boxes. Okay, you can't climb on the computer. You can't climb on the computer. He also doesn't listen. I am not very good at training my dog, and I let him walk all over my life, literally and figuratively. And
how does he do with the books in general? Like, there's no.
He doesn't care about the books.
Away? Oh, nice.
No, yeah. So, I mean, I do like close this room while I'm gone, but like, as you'll see, the books go all the way to the floor.
Oh, nice.
He doesn't care. Once, if they're in a box and he's excited about said box, we had lost maybe 1 or 2 books because of it being in the box and it was in the way of him eating it. But other than that, he's pretty good.
So he's read a few books. He's
read a few books.
Into a few. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He sure has. So he's ready for his. I get a lot of people asking if I'm hiring, and to start, I am not hiring. But this is my first employee.
I was gonna say you need to get a manager, like tag or a tie for him,
vest or something. Yeah.
He'd be good. Like, you have to talk to my manager, and he'll just stand in the corner, like
manager, but also just security.
I was gonna say, he looks just like every manager I've ever had. Like,
he's a very good greeter. All the things. He will be in the stock realm, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. So he's my currently one and only employee.
Yeah, my dog can't be allowed. I mean, anywhere near it because A, it's food, but B, because he's insane. He's been in the pen too long, so he doesn't know how to act. So he can't be near humans for a long period of time. He's that dog that doesn't want to get pet. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And people just want to like pet him for hours, and he's like, whoa. Like, one pet and leave, lady. Like, we don't need to have a whole petting spree here.
Yeah. He will die if he doesn't get pets, so he likes it.
Oh, so he's perfect. Man,
he's a people dog. He's fine with other dogs. It's not that he doesn't like them, but I sent him to doggy daycare for a while, and he just want the people to pet him. And they left the pen, he would try to escape. They called me saying he's escaped so many times because he just didn't want to be with the dogs. He wanted to be with the people. Boy.
Yeah, and, he's a loner.
He just wants pets. Then he's happy as long as he gets that. And
he's a good manager.
He's a very good manager.
Tie.
Yeah, he needs something. Tie. A little tie. It'd be cute.
All right. Well, Miss Liz, if you don't have any follow-up questions, that is a wrap for our episode with the Red Damsel.
Yay!
Well, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I was going to say, I'm sure we'll have you on again. We'll definitely do like a little special Patreon thing because this is, I'm sure a lot of people will know about romance novels and what you have and where they could go, see ya. We have your website up. We have your Instagram and all your socials. So please follow, support. And Sarah, do you want to close it out?
All righty.
Pressure.
Okay. Okay, I'm scared. Yes, we're going to close it out. Thank you, guys. And that's a wrap. Thank you. Oh, good gravy. All right, goodbye, guys.